Hello everyone, my name is Guillaume.
Hey, Kris here.
And today we're going to try and give you a few tips on how to jam together, how to play together as musicians.
Let's learn to jam. These are, of course, general rules.
Yes.
We're two guitar players, so we'll show it on two guitars. But if you're a keyboard player, a bass player, a drummer, whatever you play, these are general rules and you can definitely use them. At least that's what we hope. And
Yeah,
you can let us know in the comment section if these helped in any way. First step, tier 1 basically, is playing in unison. What is important at this step? That's the first thing you do.
Okay, so obviously we're talking about beginner guitar players who are learning to play with someone else and just not by themselves. So I'd say first keep it simple.
Yeah.
Don't try and go into like harmonies and complicated chord progressions, just like 3 or 4 chords in a loop.
Yeah. Whatever feels like super simple for you, like almost ridiculous, that's going to be the best thing. You can choose to play in unison, which means both of you play the same thing
together.
The first step. Yeah. And try to work on your timing and on your tempo.
Obviously, yeah.
You can use a metronome or a drum loop or whatever. That's very useful. As soon as you can play on top of something like a rhythm or a metronome alone, you can try to include that in your jamming practice or whatever. But you could also use your foot.
Since we don't have any drum loops or metronome, I'm going to use our feet today.
And that's the most important part, I think, because as soon as you got used to hitting the beat with your foot, that's going to be such a security, basically. Whether you're playing alone or with someone else.
Yeah, it's just like learning to move your head when you're playing bass and you're feeling the groove.
Yeah,
it helps
feel the groove.
Keep the time, and that's important.
Okay, let's...
Back in Black by Nirvana. Step 2, how to not get demonetized.
Okay, yeah.
Eye contact. I kind of just realized that as we were playing, but if you feel like you're getting lost in your own thing and you're losing touch of what the other guy's playing, look at him. Step number 2.
It's gonna be?
Harmony.
Harmony. Which is very interesting because you still stick to the same rhythm and sort of the same melody, but you're not playing the same thing.
Yeah.
You're playing on top of each other, basically.
Yeah.
And that can be a little confusing first, but it's such a pleasure. It's so beautiful. As soon as you have a nice harmony going on, it's like all the smiles and all the goosebumps.
I'm going to start off by saying that harmony obviously implies that you've sort of already mastered the first step. So it's not like a thing that you can, like you can't go through the 4 steps in one day. You're going to need to spend a lot of time on step number 1 because harmony implies like already knowing how to play with someone in unison and feeling the other guy's, vibe and everything. So that implies to be already sort of mastered. I think keeping it simple still makes sense at this point.
Stick to something simple. Like don't start with the craziest Iron Maiden, I don't know, harmony solo. It's gonna be a struggle. So stick to something simple, nice melody from your favorite band, whatever it is, or just write something really simple and figure out a harmony and then split it up and play it.
I'm gonna add something here saying that obviously you need to, if you want to jam with someone, you need to be with someone. If that's not possible, loopers are a really great option from that step onwards, most notably because that allows you to just create a first loop of one melody and then to harmonize on top of it. That was unnecessarily beautiful.
I
love that.
Playing harmonies is always so much fun.
Yeah.
Let's move on to tier number 3.
Yes.
Step number 3 is
the conversation, the back and forth, the call and answer.
The question response.
The Q&A part of playing guitar. It's we don't really know how to call it, but essentially what it means is you going to play a few bars of one riff, and then the other player is going to pick it up and play, and then you pause, and then you send it back and
forth.
Exactly.
It's like a conversation. You don't want to speak at the same time, right?
Yeah.
You sort of wait until the other is done, and then it's your turn, and then it goes back. So you will have to be aware of everything, and you have to pay attention to your cue. Whenever the other is done, it's your time, and you have to be on the spot, of course.
Because it's really going to challenge your notion of tempo. Like, let's say you've made it to that step already, and you're already comfortable by keeping a tempo to yourself. Then you're going to have to send that tempo over to someone else who's going to pick it up and play. You know, we're all slightly off tempo.
Yeah, like a different feel.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and then pick it back up and keep it straight. Yeah, it's a different exercise, definitely.
Absolutely. And what I hope it will help you to develop is some sort of an awareness of what the other is doing, because as soon as you have a pause, you're not doing anything. So you have your full attention on the other person, and you. It's a very different experience. It really makes a difference. So let's check that out.
What he says.
What he said. That was awesome.
If you want to learn how to play that lick, it's coming in Hit the Tones very soon. And that leads us to part number 4, the final tier today, which is...
Well, one plays rhythm.
And one plays melody.
Exactly. And of course, there are endless possibilities. You can expand this to, like, do whatever you want. You can stick to a simple rhythm and a written melody, something you've learned that you feel more comfortable about it. You don't have to improvise at all. Then, if you feel like that's easy peasy, you can of course move on and start improvising. Then of course, next step would be to swap. One plays rhythm, the other plays melody. After 4 bars, 8 bars, whichever, when the melody is over, the rhythm part is over, you just swap roles. And he plays melody, I play rhythm.
Yeah.
There are so many possibilities.
Yeah, it's definitely like the kind of the final step, in the sense that you can then include everything else.
Yes.
You can play the melody together, you can harmonize the melody, you can do a back and forth at some point, like we kind of did with the Kansas lick as well.
Yeah.
So that you can just pretty much go into any direction with it. And yeah, that's the jam.
Exactly.
That's just the freedom of doing anything.
Yeah, that's the beauty of playing music, if you ask me. But for that, you really need someone to lock in with.
Yeah.
You really need someone who you have experience with playing together and understanding the other person, the musician, not just knowing his licks. You have to sort of figure out what he or she is gonna be doing, and those are moments that, oh my God.
It's really important for you to realize that if you're getting into like a particular vibe, and the guy is doing like smooth jazz chords and everything, you can't really jump in and sweep pick your way through a crazy guitar solo, right? It still needs to be a conversation. It still needs to make sense. It's not a guitar exercise for the sake of just
practicing scales,
putting everything that you have in that 1 minute of solo, but just creating something that makes sense, and that's coherent, and that's beautiful, and let's try and do that. It's just like,
no pressure.
I hyped it up just a little bit too much right there.
Let me warm up for my sweeps, baby. All right, we hope this was a useful video. Let us know in the comment section if you tried it, if it worked, if you have any questions left, of course, as well.
Yeah, if you want us to do any more detailed videos on any of these steps, like harmonies or improv or anything, sweep picking, yeah, we'd be happy to do it, really, if it helps anyone. If you don't want to miss on them, you know where the subscribe button is. Don't forget the bell, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the comment section, right?
You guys take it easy. Have a nice week.
Bye-bye.